This is it. We're rolling. It's official. No Laugh Track Podcast, episode 396. Well, we're here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis because it's their podcast. I'm Justin Severson, the host, and, I get to talk to people numerous times. We've had people on this podcast, 10, 11, 12. I've lost count how many times Tim Slagle has been on this podcast. I get super excited when I get to talk to somebody for the first time, especially because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I'm not meeting a lot of new people. I'm standing here, socially distanced, from Mia Jackson.
We are socially distanced.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Thank you for joining me here.
Thank you for having me.
On a Thursday afternoon at Acme.
At who? A Thursday afternoon.
So I have some things I need to get out of the way here. First of all,
okay.
What is your history in Minnesota, Minneapolis? Have you been here before?
I have no history in Minnesota. I've never been. This is my first time in Minnesota ever in my entire life.
For anything?
For anything.
Okay.
I was even trying to think before. I'm like, have I been here before? Anyone? I have not. At all.
You probably have. I even been within 5-state radius?
Right, I've been to. And look, now I'm thinking of the map
I'll help you out.
in my head.
Wisconsin?
I've been to Wisconsin.
Okay.
I've been there. And
Iowa?
I have not been to Iowa.
North South Dakota?
Neither one of those.
I could have answered that. Come
right. And I just did a thing the other day with one of those maps where you can fill in where you've been, and there's just like a whole chunk, just of the country. I was like, I've never been to any. Like, it's just white in the middle of the country, but everywhere else.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to say, but now that you've said it, yeah, how appropriate. No, but. But it's the states with the most white people. That was white on the map.
Yeah. We have Canada north of us, too, of course.
I've been to Canada.
You've been to Canada.
I've been to Canada.
You performed in Canada.
I've performed in Canada
before.
you
did Montreal at some point, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. I was a new face at JFL in 2017.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Did you get to do anything? They did like a virtual thing this year.
No. But I heard about it. I heard about some of the stuff that was done, but I didn't see any of it. Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure it was lovely.
So you're here now, and it's Halloween week here.
It is.
And were you surprised that it was in the 30s? Like, I don't want to talk about weather much, but not being from here, you've never been here before. Did you expect this?
Well, I asked before I came because I know a couple of comics in the area, and I'm like, how should I gauge? Because this is the thing. I did a Zoom show a few weeks ago, and I said, I'm going to be in Minneapolis. And then one of the people on the call, he was like, listen, it's 6 inches of snow right now. Be prepared. And I'm like, I got to get the right coat. And then I came here, and I'm like, I could have just not done anything. It's fine. Yeah. It feels fine. I wanted a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, sure. You're, I guess, a week late on that or so.
That's what I heard. But I was like, this is fine.
Mm-hmm. I'm always interested. I think it's interesting when people come to perform here and they're not prepared. Like, well, I had to run Target and get gloves this morning. These are my brand new boots. They still have the tags on them.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, I was in New York, so I kind of learned how to go like, okay, these are the things that I need to have on my person at all times.
Sure.
So I keep gloves and all that stuff. I might be a little bit too over-prepared. So I do have gloves. But I won't need them.
Nope. So where were you before this? Where
have I been quarantining?
Yeah, I've been quarantining.
In the D.C. area. So I've been hanging out in the D.C. area. That is where my boyfriend is. And so he was like, you should just come here during the quarantine. And I was like, all right. And I was only supposed to be there. I was like, we'll just be here for a couple of weeks. Then I'll go back to New York or I'll go to Georgia. And then I've been there this entire time. So,
family's in Georgia. That's where you're from, right?
Family's in Georgia. I grew up in Georgia, yes.
I think I saw like an hour and a half southwest
of Atlanta. Yeah, Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning, military town.
Yeah, I got a friend that did some time. He did some time at Fort Benning. That doesn't sound right. He was in the service.
He was in the service.
Hurricane that's down there right now. Will that get close to where you're from, or you're too inland?
No, I don't think it will. No. But also, I have not looked at the news or any maps in the past day, so I don't know. But no, typically Georgia stays typically hurricane free. Usually the coastal stuff like Savannah, like they might have some, but we're smack dab on the line between Georgia and Alabama, so nothing happens in Columbus too often.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's good. So you just mentioned like you haven't really looked the news about that. What I'm curious, how is your how much intake of news daily? Do you try to avoid things? Do you look right away in the morning? How are you with that?
Yeah, this is usually when I'm hanging out with my boyfriend, but we will watch the news all day long.
Oh no.
It is. I mean, it has gotten to the point where there was one point during the summer, at least I think it was summer,
Right,
where I was like, dude, we gotta turn this off. I was like, I cannot wake up, and because I was having nightmares, and I would be dreaming, and I'd be like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's because the news is on. So I turned it off, and then what I started doing now, Amazon Prime has the Prime videos. They have sleep sound videos, and there's one called Boxed Fan that runs for 8 hours, and that's what I will turn on so that I can sleep in peace.
Yes, I love that.
Boxed Fan.
Wait a minute. You don't want the real boxed fan?
I do actually have a box fan going while the box fan is going on the screen. I know it's too much.
Oh my God.
And it feels a little colder when the box fan sound is on. Yes, it does. I'm like, ooh, magic.
What setting is the video boxed fan on? Do you think it's on high?
I think it is. And this is what I like. There's actually more than one boxed fan video.
Of course there is.
Yeah, there's a crackling in the forest. There's a forest fire crackling. There's beach. There's thunder. It's all kinds of stuff. I love it.
So I grew up more in the city than where I live now, and I'm personally I hate the fan thing. My wife has the fan running.
That's a solid woman.
Yeah, she loves it. you two would bond over that. I'm not telling her about this to double up. No, screw that.
I'm gonna make sure she listens to this
episode. No.
Box fan Amazon.
So when so occasionally, like if I sleep on the couch, we don't need to get into why, but sometimes I'll sleep on the couch. Maybe I just it doesn't matter. But I will play something that I like, and it's not a box fan. I go on YouTube and I play Rain on City Streets.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
Not country sounds, but rain in the city.
Yes, where there's kind of like the low, like traffic thing, but then the rain actually hitting the pavement. I love it.
I need to find that one then, because I did find one that said it was like street sounds, New York City, and I was like, no, I don't want that.
Hey, you!
Right, I'm like,
off.
Yeah, but that's a good one. Rain in the City. I'll look that up.
Yep. I should make my own and try to make money off that, huh?
I mean, it's like studio names on these videos, like produced by. I'm like, who produced this?
Right.
Who just set up a camera and was like this? And how do you even tell somebody that's your job? How are you like, oh, I got this studio.
It's like the one they have around Christmas. Well, people will play the one where it's the logs going into the fireplace.
That's a good one.
That's me. I'm the arm.
You are not.
You keep track. Every 2 hours it restarts, and that's my arm. Put another log in there.
That's a good gig.
So I watched. So you've done one show so far this week.
I did.
Here at Acme, your first day performing in Minnesota. How do you? I watched on Zoom.
Did
last
you?
night? I was not here, but I watched on Zoom.
You watched me just going insane and just being ridiculous and crazy.
So when's the last time you did a club?
The last time I did a club, was it March?
So
the first week of March.
So right before everything locked down.
Right before everything locked down. Yeah, and then the only live show I've done since then, I did a show in DC that was just like a 10-minute set at this bar that was socially distanced, but it's like they were recording something for the city, and it was kind of set up like this. Everything was very spread out and all that good stuff. But the 10 minutes before unleashing myself back into the world last night. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And then you've done the Zoom shows, right?
Oh, I've done a ton of Zoom shows. Those have been like, I was against them at first. Yeah, I was like, there's no way I will do this at all. I'll say this is not right. And then I was like, you know what? I can just go to the next room and sit in a chair and have snacks off camera. So what's not to love?
Yeah. It is crazy to think, like, all the people that I've talked to that have come here and that recognize how great Acme is, and they'll talk about the low ceilings and how intimate it is, and then how far we've come. I mean, thank God Acme's back open again. We're doing the shows, but other places, I mean, it's so different between here and then there's like you compare that to other clubs that did their thing, but not maybe as good as here, and then all the way down to Zoom shows.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's a lot of change.
Yeah, but this is great though. I mean, when I walked in, I was like, oh, this feels great.
Yeah.
Like, this feels good. Yeah.
Good.
So yeah. No,
Good.
It's great already. Yeah.
So what would have this summer looked like had the pandemic not hit?
Oh gosh, I probably would have been. I think I would have been pretty busy. Just kind of a mix of being on the road and doing shows in New York and just all kinds of just stuff. Like I would have because I usually try to have a good mix of, hey, I stay, do spots, then I go on the road, then I go to Georgia and hang out, then I might work the road from there and do stuff like that. So, yeah, so that's what it just would have been, just business as usual. And I would have just been running around and being crazy. And then like I always have my little system of like, this is my bag when I go somewhere for 2 days. This is my 4-day bag. That's what it would have just been, constant switching in and out of stuff. And then now it's just been, I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here and doing Zoom shows and eating snacks. That's it.
So you said you're living in the DC area right now?
Well, I'm just been there for the quarantine.
Okay.
Just kind of hanging out.
Is there anywhere to perform there?
You know what? There are, because I think some of the clubs have been doing drive-in shows, and then I know, but some of them have also done Zoom shows too. But I don't think it's open. Like I think it's just like some places here and there are doing some shows.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next.
I mean,
it doesn't seem like places are gonna open up full anytime soon. So
places are closing,
Yeah.
and I mean, I just see people posting all the time like, we're doing a fundraiser for this place, or we're doing a thing for this, and everybody's just trying to maintain, and it's just a wild, it's just like people, it is, what's the phrase? Everybody's like, it's unprecedented times, and I mean, it just really, like, there's no other way to describe it, because you're like, we've never in our lifetime seen anything like this. So
I have kids, and I'm like trying to like, I can't even like be like, well, this reminds me of when.
Nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have no we have the Google things like 1912.
Yeah,
like
right.
that's the best we got. Yeah.
Right.
Man,
I can't help you with this. Dad's lost.
Yeah.
I don't even know. So I want quickly, where did you first start doing comedy?
Whoa, I started doing comedy in Athens, Georgia. Where the University of Georgia is. That's where I went to school.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, had a day job. I was a secretary at the College of Veterinary Medicine.
Okay.
Yes, I used to. I was very bad. I was a terrible secretary.
Okay.
And I just and I had the way our desk were set up, like it was my desk in the front. There was a coworker whose desk was right behind me. Like we're both the administrative people for the office, and I would just tell her all the time, like, I just want to do comedy. Like, I think I'm really funny, and she would encourage me all the time. She's like, you should totally do it, because I loved stand up. And then there was like this weekly paper, and I'm pretty sure like every city has one that'll be like, come to our open mic.
Yeah, the one in Minneapolis shut down yesterday after 40-some years.
Yesterday?
Yes.
Oh,
Mia.
no.
Yeah. City pages.
And yes, one of those tight. Yes.
Anyway,
like the
go
little,
on.
that, and it had an open mic in it, and then I went, and that was the first time I ever got on stage, and it was a place where I went downstairs into a bar, and
Did you bring anyone with?
Did I bring people?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, because I was like, if I don't bring people, I'm just not gonna go do it, because I won't, nobody will hold me accountable.
Oh, okay.
And so my friends were like, we're coming, and my friend that encouraged me at the job, she actually came and recorded that set. I have no idea where it is now, but it was recorded the very first time I got on stage.
What if someone uncovers it, would you post that online?
No, never. I would never post it online because this was the thing. There was a TV on the whole time
Oh, not where it's visible?
behind
No.
me. Yes,
What were they showing?
it was a game,
Oh.
and I'm just like, "Hey, everybody!" And I'm like, "Why didn't they turn this TV off?" And I was over there just being ridiculous and cursing and just.
It was
being
Wheel of Fortune, and people were playing along.
I wish it was in the South, football, they
Right.
can't live without
Sure,
it. So, ugh.
Well, it must have gone okay because then you went and did it again.
I did go do it again, and then the second time, I don't remember it, but I don't think it went well.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I should just keep doing this, and it's gonna get worse and better sometimes. Yeah, so I was very much just kind of doing whatever I wanted at first. I would not repeat jokes. I would just go, I have new things I want to talk about every time I get on stage, until a comic sat me down and was like, you're funny, but you gotta start doing things over and over. And I was like, what? Why would I do that? And then I went, oh, that's good advice. That makes sense. Sure.
That is, wow.
Yeah, I was
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was not working on anything. I'd just be like, well, this is what I want to talk about today.
Yeah,
And
wow.
I would just be talking, and then some of it would be like, oh, that, and somebody, oh, that joke you did, that joke was funny. And I'm like, what joke? And I'm like, oh, should I do that again? They were like, why wouldn't you do it again?
Did
I'm
it feel
like,
weird repeating things?
Yeah, at
Like-
first, yeah, because I was just like, what is, and then, because when in the comic that said it, I was like, oh, I guess I could listen. And then I went, oh, he seems to be doing pretty well. So I guess.
Love it.
I guess I'll pay attention. And now I'm like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
I see the value in working out a joke and adding things to it
Yeah.
and fixing it. Fine.
Guess it makes sense.
I guess it makes sense.
How did you end up in New York then? How long ago was that?
That was last year.
Oh.
So just last year. But I'd kind of been like, I would go periodically and do shows here and there.
Otherwise, you'd been in Georgia?
Otherwise, I've been in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of just everywhere, working the road. Because I went full time as a comic in 2014.
Okay.
That's when I went full time. But I had been doing it, just part time. Had a day job. I was a corporate trainer, and yeah. And then like 2019, like a friend of mine, like 2017, 2018, she always would rent out one of her rooms, and she would always tell me like, oh, if you ever want to come, whenever my room's available, like you can rent that extra room out. I'd be like, yeah, okay. And then so sometime in 2018, she's like, oh, my roommate, she's leaving. She's like, do you want to come? And I went, no. She said it's open. And I go, oh, is that room open? She was like, I'm like, are you sure it's open? She's like, yeah, you coming? And I went, yes, I'm coming. And then I sent her the money, and then I was there like a couple of weeks later. And even in that first month that I was there, I was on the road so much that I was only there for 3 days
Okay.
out of that month.
If this friend had that place and it was in California, would you have gone there?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't, because the thing is, like, and I know people always talk about the differences where they're like, typically you'll hear people say you go to New York if you want to, if you really want to be a stand-up, if you really want to work and pound the pavement and you want to get out and do multiple shows. And they go, you go to LA if you want to act and, and you can still do comedy, but it's not as many spots. And I was like, no. I think I want to go where I can get a whole bunch of reps in. Like, that's where I want to go. And I do know people that are successful comics in LA, but I also know people who are like, man, I'm struggling to get on stage. I've only been on stage twice this week, but in New York, I can go on stage. Like, sometimes I can do 4 or 5 shows in one night, just depending on how it works out.
Yeah, I saw, was it maybe a week ago, that the Cellar, you go work at the Cellar
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
doing now dinners?
Yeah.
Is that right? Did I see they're doing dinners?
I've seen the Instagram stories with the dinners. Yes, I haven't been back to go to dinner yet, but I can't wait until I can go back.
I
yeah.
bet.
Yeah. So that place, I mean, I love that place. It's just the best. In fact, somebody told me before I came here, they were like, they were like, when you go to Acme, you're gonna see that it kind of has that feel. It kind of reminds you of the
bit,
Cellar
yeah.
with downstairs. And I was like, it does. Yeah. So
I've been to the Cellar one time.
did you go to the original room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they have, there's one around the corner, the Village Underground,
Nope.
and the Fat Black Pussycat. So it's 2 other rooms.
Yeah,
too.
no, this was the real deal.
The original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably It's been a while now. Oh God, 10, 12 years now. It's been a long time.
But it's a good room. All of them are good though. Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. It's so much negative stuff. You know, people are all stressed out and these days. I want to hear something positive from you that's come out of the pandemic.
Ooh.
I have one, but I want to hear you.
Ooh.
I want if you can think of something.
What's
If you need a second, I can tell you mine.
What's positive that's come out of? Yes, you go first.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me. You'll know from my answer that it doesn't have to be something like life changing. It can be something very silly.
Okay.
Mine is the fact that we had an air fryer at home for 2 years, and I was afraid to ever use it, and now it gets used almost every day.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the air fryer.
It's just a nice, that seems like a nice, that's peaceful too, where you're like, I use my air fryer.
Mm-hmm. We had it. It takes up a lot of room. I even thought of getting rid of it. It was a gift a couple years ago.
But
and then
now,
finally I started using it. You can even put healthy stuff in there.
What's your favorite thing that you make?
Well, I will just say for the air fryer. I will just say that recently I've been starting to do those veggie appetizer things. You know, they're
Are they like wraps or?
You know, they're like little chicken, but they're like fake chicken, like little buffalo tenders, but it's not real chicken. It's fake
like
chicken.
Like the cauliflower things,
yes.
Or like
yes, but you heat those up in the air fryer and they're nice and crispy, just as if they were deep fried.
Nice.
Delish.
I need an air fryer.
So that's mine.
Gosh, let me see. What is a thing that I have been? I think. Let me see. What's been a positive thing? Actually, even though I wrote off the whole Zoom thing, it's actually been a pretty decent way for me to connect with people too, because there are times where, because I'd be just gone all the time, or I would if I was on a road trip and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna call my friend and I talk to them for 2 hours while I'm driving, or I'll talk to this person for an hour, and then it's other people where I've actually been able to go, oh, you know what, why don't we just sit? Like, what if I just talk to you on Zoom and we drink wine and just talk? And then I'm like, oh, and I did a birthday party on Zoom, and I did and that was super fun for me because I was able to do like a birthday trivia game, and I made all my friends, and I'm like, guys, the door's open at this time, and and I had a playlist going for like 30 minutes, and then I'm like, if you feel like coming early, you can. If you want to come right at 8 when the trivia starts, come at 8. And then it was just fun, and like going like, oh, I get to see my friend that's in Atlanta that I haven't seen this entire time, or I get to see this person. So it's been cool just to go, I can actually sit down and reconnect with a lot of people. So that's been a positive.
There you go.
Me.
That's a great one. So, Isn't that strange though? The fact that that's what's come out of this time where we're actually staying away from people.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's been. And then like one thing that I did recently, like my mom had to do an interview via Zoom, and so I was actually directing her. And I was like, okay, this is where I need you to sit your laptop, have your lights here, and do this. And then like, as my mom is doing all this, my dad is in the background setting up lights and stuff. Then my dad was like, oh, well, I want to talk to her on Zoom too. And then so the next day we just had a Google Meet. I sent him a link and I'm like, click on this link in like 10 minutes. And so I'm just talking to my dad while he's all in the screen like, hey, so how often can I talk to you on this thing? When can I talk? But it was just fun just to even though I talked to them, it was fun to go like, oh, I get to see your face because I haven't been home. So it's been fun.
My parents had definitely never used video chat before March, and we did one just within the last couple of weeks. And at one point, my mom had to walk away from in front of the computer, so it was just my dad there. And within a second, it's only showing this much. It's like, how do you do that?
What did you do? Right.
How did you move and it's just your forehead?
You did, like, what are you, like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, and then my mom, with her, she kept going, well, you told me to look right here. And I said, I did not tell you that. I said, I didn't tell you to look there at all. And then she was like, then she blamed my sister. Well, one of you told me. My sister's like, I didn't tell you that either. So stop it. But what I did, when she was trying to figure out where her camera was, I did send her a picture of a like generic laptop, and I drew a circle, and I said, this is where your camera is. But I didn't tell her to look there just because she was like, I don't think I have a camera on this laptop. I said, yes, you do. You do have a camera.
Yeah. If it's a purchase in the last 10 years, it has a camera.
You have a camera. Yeah. And yeah, so it was just funny watching them navigating. And for her lights, my dad he blasted a flashlight in her face on one side. And he was like, this should work. And then I'm like, actually it does, but don't be so excited about putting this directly in her face.
They're opening a production studio next.
It'll be a disaster.
Oh, I love it. Hey, when I was looking through some of your social media, I did a little bit of figuring, and your half hour debuted like almost a year ago to the day.
Almost a year ago today.
November 1st, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. Yeah. And it was I recorded it. It was January of 2019.
Yep.
And then it came out November. So it was very fun. And it was in fact, like the night that it came out, me and Tom Takar, it was so funny that ours aired the same night because we actually recorded the same night in the same order that they aired them on Comedy Central.
Cool.
So his came out first, and then mine was out. So we both just had people watch it at the Fat Black Pussycat for the cellar. So we were like, can we have like a watch party here? And so like, yeah, so it was up on the screens, and I couldn't hear, of course, anything I was saying, but I could see me, making all the moves and stuff. And I'm like, that's probably when I said this, and just kind of pointing around and screaming. And it was so super cool and fun, and just, it was,
that's awesome.
Was lovely.
Yeah. Very cool. I'm just thinking, did they even do half hours for people this year, or were they called off, or? Not that you need to know.
Yeah,
you have yours.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think what I've seen some of my comedy buddies posting something called I think it's like something called featuring, but I think it's like shorter sets maybe is what I've gathered, but I don't think it's half hours though. But that's what I've seen, and it looks like someone shared a trailer, and I think it's just like they're outside. But yeah, I haven't seen. I don't know if they did Comedy Central half hours. I don't think so.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't work for Comedy Central. Who knows?
So tell me what happened.
I could just be out here lying and making. I could be like, guys, they're coming out next week, guys.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, but no, but I actually, because I'm sure if they had been out, somebody I know would have said something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk for a minute because Halloween. We just said November 1st. Oh, by the way, did you know? I just realized this morning we get an extra hour this Saturday. You're not happy about that.
I need to remember that because when
I
push
back
into
your
my
flights.
flight,
I
need to remember before I end up before I just move to Minneapolis. I need to check.
Well, they have the you can come back Tuesdays with the showcase. They'll give you probably 10 minutes.
I would stay for the showcase.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? This is great.
Yeah, geez, so you live in one time zone, your ticket's probably in another time zone, and then the time is switching in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I've dealt with that before because I remember I kept trying to check into a flight when I was somewhere else. I think it was about to be a time change, and I kept going, why can't I check it? I'm calling Southwest, and I was like, what is going on? And they were like, ma'am, it's based on the time. And I was like, all right, fine. So I have to remember that because as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to remember I don't do what I did last time. Yeah.
So so it'll be Halloween here when you're doing your shows Saturday night, 2 shows here Saturday.
Right.
Will you be wearing a costume on stage?
I might just wear a different wig. Maybe. I've been into wigs lately. That's another positive thing I've picked up during the pandemic is that I don't have to comb my hair. So
I heard you reference it on stage last night.
I haven't done my hair in months.
Nice.
I've brushed it. I've washed it. But have I tried to style it? No, I have not.
Oh, good for you.
That's not my gift. My gift is not hair styling at all.
Yeah, like I said, I normally get by wearing a hat and don't do anything with my hair, and I don't feel guilty about it ever.
It's an easy life. I need a haircut. That's what I need, really. So I gotta figure this out.
So let's see. We got people need to go vote. If they haven't done that yet,
you're right. They do need to vote, and they need to vote in person at this point because apparently if you try to do absentee, if it's not postmarked, I believe, what is it, in 29 states, even before November 3rd, they won't count it. That's what I've read.
Don't. Yeah, I would say don't complicate it. Keep it simple.
Yeah,
Try to get there in person.
I voted absentee, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I want to. But back to Halloween. So, how about in the past? If you think about your childhood and Halloween, is there a favorite costume that comes to mind or favorite memory?
You know, it's not a favorite costume. It's probably the worst costume, and I laugh.
Even better.
I laugh about it every year. First of all, it's two things that I think about for Halloween that always make me laugh.
Perfect.
One, my cousin and I, we bring this up every year, but we went trick-or-treating with this obnoxious child who was just can I cuss? I don't know if I cuss. He was talking shit the whole day. He's just like, I got more candy than everybody else. We were just like, I hate this kid. Like, we were just so angry with him. And then he's walking down the street and he's swinging his basket and talking shit. And then he swung it one time, and that basket, it was almost like it was slow motion, but it rolled into the sewer. And I laughed, and we laugh about it every year. Like, remember that kid whose pumpkin and you could just see it, and like you could just see his dreams die as it rolled into the sewer. And we were laughing, and we were just like, as kids, we were horrified because we were like, it's candy, but on the inside we were like, yes. And
then you're also like, I'm not sharing.
Right. Oh, and then that's how we were like, and then my mom, she was like, okay, hold on, we'll take care of this. So then we go to like the next house, we go knock on the door. She's like, he just lost his basket in the sewer. Can you give him some candy? And they were like, yes. And then they gave him a bunch of apples, and I was like, ha! That's what you get for being an ass. But then I think they might have given him like a couple of other things, but I was like, that's why you got apples, we got real candy. Shut up. That's why you shouldn't brag. Don't be a braggart.
That's right.
But stay humble. And, and then and then my other, I've been looking for this picture for years, but there was a Polaroid picture taken of me at a drugstore when I was about 8 years old, where because I went trick-or-treating, because this is around the time like when people started going, maybe we shouldn't be trick-or-treating at people's houses, and we should start trick-or-treating in the mall.
Yeah, going
that
door
kind of thing.
Store to store instead of door to door.
Yeah. And I remember my dad bought me a mask, and it was like a devil mask, and the mask scared me, and it had curly hair, and he was like, here, I bought you a Halloween costume. And I'm like, I don't want to wear this thing scares me. And I kept it and used it for years to scare my little sister. But I did not want to wear that mask. And then my mom, I remember she bought these I begged for these little makeup sticks from Avon, and it was like one that was orange, one was green, one was blue, one was black. And obviously I'm a black person with a brown skin, and green is not going to show up on my face, so I really just look like a little dirty mechanic. And I took this green thing, just grease, and that's all you see is just you just see a little dark streak. Doesn't look green at all. You just see, because I was like, I'm gonna be a witch, and I had a witch hat, the grease on my face, like just like I said, did not look like green at all. Just I looked dirty, and then I looked like I've been just fixing carburetors. Like, that's what I look like. Like, I just did not look like a witch at all. Then I told my mom, I was like, I need like a witch's gown. Like, she was like, ain't nobody buying you no damn gown. Like, you better figure it out. And this is what I wore. I wore some jeans, a Mickey Mouse sweatshirt, and a damn velvet blazer. And I looked ridiculous. I looked like a corporate 8-year-old witch. Like, I was
slash mechanic
with a dirty face. Just what? I was like, I cannot believe my mom, because she had this old velvet coat in the closet. And I was like, well, can I just wear this? She was like, yeah, wear that. And I was like, you knew I looked ridiculous. Why would you let me wear this? And I just was proudly walking around the mall like, this is it. I'm a witch that wears sweatshirts. Like, that's what I do. What a dirty face.
I love it. Did that get I hope that got handed down to your sister a few years later.
I'm trying to think. No, that's the thing, because we're 12 years apart. So her life has been better than mine. Her life has been so I think she had, but I wasn't home when she was doing a lot of her trick-or-treating stuff. So I'm almost certain she had way better way better costumes.
Your
than
mom
me.
turned into a seamstress and
Probably. I think
put a
you know
whole
what?
thing together.
Now that you said it, I need to ask her today. I need to be like, what were your Halloween costumes like? I need another thing to hold against
Yeah.
you.
And if you have a Polaroid, I'll take that too.
And if there's because now that I think about it, I've never heard her talk about Halloween, like or what she wore. Like she had to have done something.
Yeah, that's because they were like, let's keep this from Mia.
They probably did. My sister, she got braces. She got all these things that I was told, like, well, no,
Not right now.
not right now. But she got everything. She played on like a traveling soccer team when she was a kid. When they got her first car, it was, I used to do a joke about this, but I said it was made in the century that they bought it. Like they was like, I'm like, but my mom was like, who doesn't want a 1989 Eagle Premier? Nobody wants.
The person that got rid of it doesn't.
They didn't want it. Have you ever heard of that car before?
No.
It's a terrible. First of all, they were made by it was they had a car. It was a Dodge Monaco and an Eagle Premier were the exact same car, and I believe the Mitsubishi Galant looked exactly like it.
Okay, I know that one.
But the Eagle Premier was considered a cold weather car, and I had never heard of that before. And this is when I went to trade it in, which the fact that they took it is still amazing. But the guy at the dealership was like, by that time I was attached to the car, and he goes, why are you acting like this? Like, get a car that works. And I was like, but I love this car. This Eagle Premier is the best car. And he said, listen, we had an Eagle Premier. We had a lot where we sold Eagles. And because they were in Georgia and it was the cold weather car situation, that when it got cold, they didn't start. So, like, they would go to test drive them, and then people would be like, I don't want to drive this car. It doesn't work. And they'd be like, no, you got to wait for it. It's got to get warm. Like, it's got to get warm outside for it to work. And I'm like, who decided? But it was a terrible car in retrospect. It was very bad. I will admit that. It was all electric. The seat would just move forward at will. It was a disaster.
Oh, my God.
It was awful.
I had a car once that when you would take left turns, it talked. It was a hand-me-down car from somebody. And it would go, the door is ajar.
And you would just turn it left?
Uh-huh. The door is ajar.
Oh.
Listen to you with your fancy language. Ajar.
Like, the car doesn't work. Like, that's what it's really saying.
Yeah. Well, this has been great.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you so much.
Hope a lot of people come and see you this weekend.
I
They
hope
certainly
they
should.
do too. I hope they do.
If they don't come in person, then they can buy a Zoom ticket and watch from anywhere.
Buy a Zoom ticket and they'll see my Zooming wig on Zoom and in person if they want. So
love it. Where can do your social media?
Where can the streets find me? Well, at Mia Comedy on Instagram and Twitter, and then I'm just on Facebook, Mia Jackson. So I'm out here in these streets. I'm out here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.